It's me, Sergeant Dan Bryant, and welcome to episode 7 of season 2 of You Call That Targeting. My gosh, crazy week in football once again, like it always is. I mean, I don't even know why I even talk during this intro, because it's usually the same thing. My goodness, I'm easy. It's usually the same thing that I talk about. Anyways, we're going to jump right into the absolute recap of last week. Ole Miss beats Kentucky. Me and Mike both picked that one correct. Wake Forest beats Florida State. I picked it right, and Mike didn't. So suck my absolute nipples, Mike. Alabama beats Arkansas 49-26. For some reason, I don't know why in the world I picked Arkansas. I must have had something kind of crazy to drink or something. Because they beat them 49-26. Like I mean, even with a backup quarterback, pretty bad. And Clemson beats North Carolina 30-20. Mike also got that one right. And then in the game of the week, Oklahoma State beats Baylor. And what do you know? Mike got that one right again. So I'm going to check the score now. Mike is beating me 11-7 in the regular picks, and now Mike has took the lead with 3 correct picks of the game of the week games. So my gosh, Mike pretty much sucks. But anyways, it is time to move on, and let's give away some awards. I'm not going to give away Team of the Week awards. Me and Mike talked about it. Because every time we give a Team of the Week, they usually end up just sucking the next week or something stupid. So we're just going to give away trash awards, and then, of course, the absolute trash team of the week. So starting with the first trash team, Texas A&M. My gosh, what happened to their season? I mean, everybody was expecting a lot out of these guys. And then they just absolute lay turds. They lose to App State. And then they lose to Mississippi State this week, 42-24. My gosh, Texas A&M is nothing but garbage. My next trash team is the Georgia Bulldogs. This is unbelievable. I mean, we were talking these guys up like they were the best thing since sliced bread, which I don't even know what's so great about sliced bread. But anyways, my gosh, nothing but trash win over Missouri. 26-22. They should have lost that game. Absolutely no doubt they should have lost. But Missouri just could not. I don't know. They just couldn't put it away. That's usually how it goes in those upset games. But Georgia's nothing but trash now. I don't even know what to think about them anymore. Next trash team is Army. My gosh. They lost to 0-4 Georgia State. And I thought Army was pretty good. I knew Navy was trash. But who would have thought at this point in time, out of the academies, that Air Force would be the better team right now? It makes absolutely no garbage sense. I haven't really got to watch any of the Army or Navy or Air Force, but I don't know what's going on with Army, but they pretty much are sucking balls. Next, Pittsburgh. They were ranked, I can't remember, 24 or 25. I don't care. They lost to Georgia Tech. And everybody knows Georgia Tech's been crap the last 3 years or so, 4 years. So, pretty embarrassing. But now, it is time for my absolute trash team of the week. My absolute trash team of the week is the Oklahoma Sooners. My gosh! I mean, they just back-to-back suck weeks. I mean, lost to Kansas State. And then they get absolute blown out by TCU 55-24. My gosh, take a back seat, Oklahoma. Your season's done. Your Big 12 championship hopes are done. Garbage team. My gosh. Congratulations, Oklahoma. You're nothing but pure, putrid. What can I say? Pure, putrid. I don't know. Garbage. Anyways, that's all my trash teams. Now it's time to move on to questions. First question is from I done lost my place. From Squatch Tots. He says, "What are your thoughts on arena football? Real or posers?" I'm gonna say, I'm going to say posers. My gosh, you get out on a 50-yard field. Some of the rules are just dumb from what I remember. Like, you can't blitz, like, more than one linebacker or something stupid. And then you get your, like, wide receivers. They can, like, start running before the snap. And, like they don't already have an advantage of a 50-yard field. I don't know. I never really got into arena football. I remember I had an arena football, like a video game. And I remember it being pretty fun. But, I think it's posers. What do you think, Mike?
I wouldn't call them posers. I mean, they're still great athletes. I had a real good time one time. I went and watched it was like a local team. It wasn't like the real deal arena football, but it was like I don't know, some kind of smaller league of it. And like, I actually had a really good time watching the game. I think it's a fun thing to like take your family to if you find an indoor football league. But um, like if it came on TV, I wouldn't waste my time watching it. It just, like I said, they're great athletes, but it's not the same.
Next question is from Finest Frog Hair. He says UNLV has 4 wins already, and they have not won 7 games since 2013, and 8 games since 2000. Do you think they could reach these numbers? Also, will the winner of the TCU Kansas game win the Big 12? So I'm going to check out, the UNLV schedule. I don't like their chances to even win more than 7. And I'm going to tell you why. They play at San Jose State next. They have Air Force. They're at Notre Dame, which you know Notre Dame is going to absolute beat the brakes off of them. Then they're at San Diego State. I feel like that could be almost 4 losses in a row right there. But then they do end with Fresno State, Hawaii, when you know Hawaii is nothing but pure trash. And then they play Nevada. I see a 7-5 season at best for UNLV. But to get back to your other part of the question, and spoiler alert, this is our game of the week this week, TCU at Kansas. I'll say it this way, and I haven't watched Kansas play. I know they're having a pretty magical year to be undefeated at this point. But I'm going to say if TCU wins this game, I really like their chances to be, at the end and maybe win the Big 12. I think Kansas is just kind of riding a high right now. I think if they get beat by TCU, I think they might fall apart and lose a few more games. I do not see them being an actual contender when you got teams like TCU, Baylor, and Oklahoma State. But yeah, I think TCU has the better chance of those 2 teams to win the conference. But thank you for your question. Next question is from Skid Mark. On a scale of 1 to 10 refried beans, what are the chances of Tennessee beating Alabama this year? I'm going to give you maybe. I'm terrible at picking against Alabama. I don't know why I do it. I'm going to give a 4 out of 10 refried bean chance for Tennessee to beat Alabama. Look, Tennessee's got a pretty good offense. They have a great quarterback. I don't know if their defense is as good, to be able to, keep Alabama from scoring enough points to win. But yeah, I think their chances this year are better than past years, but still don't like their chances. What do you think, Mike?
I might would even go a little higher. I think a 5 or 6 refried beans would be my answer. I think Tennessee has the quarterback to do it. I think and if Alabama plays a struggle game like they did against Texas or something like that, I think Tennessee's the better team, and I think Tennessee could win. With that being said, though, if they play 10 times, I feel like Bama would win 8 of the 10, or maybe even 9. But I think they're, like you said, their chances are better this year than years past.
Yeah, I love how you have to just take what I say because I make the most sense. Anyways, my gosh. Moving on. This question is from Foot Fetish Larry. What has happened with Texas A&M? I hope Bama continues to smack them around with Milrose's absolute Python guns. That dude has some Python guns, by the way. Dude is jacked. And I also heard that Squatch was going to be at the game. Lucky. Go Braves, division champs. Yeah, I think Alabama will have no problem beating A&M. I think I saw that they're a 24-point favorite, and it's at A&M. This is a game that I had circled, at the beginning of the year that I felt like A&M had a chance to win, but not anymore. They're garbage. And Bama, even with a backup quarterback, is going to go absolutely smack some tits. And yeah, go Braves. I mean, I was really pumped. I thought we were going to blow it somehow. My goodness, all we had to do was win one game or the Mets lose one game. And, my gosh, I mean, we couldn't beat the Marlins. But I think now that we're past that, and I think we're going to be pretty successful. Definitely if Spencer Strider comes back healthy and throwing like he's been throwing. I'm excited. I am so excited to watch some playoff baseball. Definitely knowing that my Braves have a chance again to make it to the World Series. So, next question is from Him O'Roids. It's been a great year. Do you think Tennessee has what it takes to make it to the playoffs? If not, who will knock them out in the running? Well, let me tell you this, Hemorrhoids. They have to play a team called Alabama, and they have to play a team called Georgia at some point this year, right? Those two teams are more than likely, even though Georgia has sucked the last 2 weeks, I will say that both of them will beat Tennessee. But hey, Tennessee will probably finish second in the East, which is, man, that's definitely a step up for them. So if you are a Tennessee fan, which it sounds like you are, it should be a good year for you, and you should be proud of Tennessee. Next question is from Moms Against Sasha. We are fed up with your harsh language and bad attitude. Just the other day, I heard little Timmy, my 4-year-old, running around the house hollering to the top of his lungs, "Suck my nips." And you're nothing but pure trash. I hope you have another source of income, because you, sir, are getting shut down. The Mom Squad will not stand for your vulgarity. I want wholesome content. Let me tell you this, Moms Against Sasha. You can absolutely suck my nipples. I do not care about wholesome content. If you want wholesome content, how about you go get Bible Man on DVD? I think you can get it on Amazon pretty cheap if you want wholesome content. Here's the thing, little Timmy 4-year-old's probably going around watching absolute woke mess when it comes to these new Marvel movies. Got a bunch of guys kissing and whatnot. He can watch that and probably be fine. He probably watches scary movies or things with witches in it, but, I won't even get started with that. Yeah, he probably watches all this crap that's on TV. He probably wears rainbow shirts. But you want to say that, first of all, what's a 4-year-old doing listening to a football podcast? I mean, what kind of interest does he have in football? And what do you have interest in football? Moms Against Sasha. My God, there's a million other podcasts or videos you could be watching on YouTube, but you're wasting your absolute time listening to me talk about football. And I'll say suck my nips, I'll say balls, I don't care. My gosh. Wholesome content. Mike, what do you think about this?
Well, normally I usually try to take the high road, and I usually try to see both sides of the story. But I'm with you, Sasha. I think it's absolutely just stupid that this group of people is calling you out for vulgarity on a football podcast. Like you said, what interests them about this podcast that these moms have to listen to, and why are your 4-year-olds listening to it? I think if you want wholesome content, like you said, there's plenty of it out there. But I'll tell you this, and this is unlike me, and it's it's uncharacteristic about me, Sasha. But I have to say to Moms Against Sasha, I have to say, and you're stupid. If you want wholesome content, how about you? Or you can take this podcast and shove it up your. That's all I have to say. I mean, my goodness, go somewhere else.
Mike, I've never been more proud of you. Yeah, I mean, we normally don't allow this on our show, but I mean, my goodness. I mean, just these Karens out here just always got to complain about something. Let's just move on to the next question. Maybe it gets better. Next question is from Brother Harold from Old Town Holy Fire on God's Mountain of Spiritual Food from Above, Pentecostal Church. Do you handle snakes? If so, we would love to have you come out and speak to our chitlin. I guess he maybe meant children. I don't know. And possibly sling some serpents with us. As the young folks say, let me know. I mean, is that really something young people say? Man, okay, anyways. I don't handle snakes. I mean, if there's one in my yard, I might go poke it with a stick if it's a non-poisonous snake. But to handle snakes, definitely poisonous snakes, to try to prove my faith, that's about the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Brother Harold from Old Town Holy Fire on God's Mountain of Spiritual Food from Above, Pentecostal Church. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably look into some other stuff that your church can do besides snake handling. And also the speaking in tongues thing, it's a little weird, kind of creeps people out. So you might want to take a little bit of a step back on that. And also, I mean, I don't know how Pentecostal and holiness kind of go together, but some of these women, the way they wear their hair, long skirts, you could probably take a, step back on that as well. But anyways, I ain't here to tell you how to run your church there. And I'll probably shorten the name, though, by the way, if I'm going to tell you one more thing. But that's it for the questions. I forgot to give an update on the Iowa Children's Hospital. We didn't raise any money this week, sadly, because Iowa lost to Michigan. Bo Nix did not throw an interception, and Hawaii, the only reason they didn't lose is they had a bye week. So the total still stays at $15 for now. But maybe Hawaii comes back and plays next week. They're garbage. They'll lose. And I hadn't looked at who Iowa plays, but maybe they'll get a win. And, Bo Nix, you never know. We might get a couple interceptions. So, it's time to move on to this week's picks. Starting with Tennessee at LSU, I am going to pick Tennessee. Mike, who do you got?
I'm going to go with LSU. It's at LSU. Tennessee is only like a 3-point favorite. And I mean, I haven't really been impressed with LSU like I have Tennessee's offense. But I think maybe LSU has the better defense. It kind of balances itself out. It's at Death Valley. I am going to go with LSU.
Garbage pick. My gosh. Next game, Utah at UCLA. I like UCLA. Man, they got a great quarterback. Their home crowd pretty much sucks. And for the moms against Sasha, they suck nipples. But maybe they'll have a bigger crowd with it being against Utah and being a top 25 matchup. So I am going to go with UCLA. What about you, Michaelis?
I'm going to disagree with you again. I'm going with Utah. I mean, we all knew, Utah at the beginning of the year, before they lost to Florida, was really talked about. I think they got, still a great offense, great defense. I think they go on the road and get it done.
Next game, BYU versus my beloved Notre Dame Fighting Irish. This is the Shamrock Series game. If you don't know what that is, you're not a Notre Dame fan. We wear some cool jerseys, and we're going to play at a neutral site, so we're playing in Las Vegas. But I read a stat where Notre Dame is 10-0 in Shamrock Series games, by the way. And so, not only are we a 3.5-point favorite against a ranked BYU team, I think we're just a better team. Because it's a Shamrock Series game. I don't think it matters if we were playing number 1 Alabama. I think we beat them in the Shamrock Series game. So I'm going Notre Dame. I don't care if you like it or not. Michael Gary Scott, what do you think?
Why do you call me all these different names? I'm actually going to agree with you this week. You kind of led everybody on to think I'm going to disagree with you. I think Notre Dame wins it. I mean, and I'm pretty sure I just said Notre Dame, but that's okay. Notre Dame's going to win this game. BYU, they're kind of, I don't know. They're okay one week. They look good one week. I think Notre Dame does have the better talent. Their defense has looked good.
Your mama was good.
And with it being the Shamrock Series game, I think they go out and get it done.
Well, it's about time you pick a good pick. So I'm pretty impressed with you, Michael. So it's time to move on to the game of the week. And like I said earlier in the video, it is TCU at Kansas. Both teams undefeated. Both teams looking to go on and win the Big 12. But it's at Kansas. And so I'm going to go with the Magic. I think Kansas finds a way to win this game and keep this magical season going. It's at home. I'm pretty sure College Game Day is going to be there. We got Earl there. I mean, that should get you excited. And, yeah, I'm going with Kansas. Let's go Jayhawks.
I love the pick, but I have to go. I'm going for points here. I'm going with TCU. I think they're just a more powerful offense. The way they looked against Oklahoma, they look just unstoppable right now. So I'm going with TCU. On the road, I think they get it done. Earl, how's the scene down there, and what's your pick?
Well, the scene down here, I mean, it's Kansas. There ain't much to really see. I was complaining about being in Texas the last few weeks, but Kansas, pretty much worse. But I mean, these fans, they're used to, shooting the hoops and dunking the ball and they're used to that kind of stuff, and they're probably good at, I don't know, like volleyball or something. Football's usually not their thing. And so they're pretty excited down here. I've stumbled upon some students at a local pub, and they were absolutely just plastered. But they think they can win the national. They think they can go. They want Bama, They want Bama. They want Georgia. They want them all. But if I had to give my pick, and I wouldn't have told these guys because they were absolutely plastered, like I mentioned a few seconds ago. But I wouldn't have told them because it probably would have started a fight, and then I would have been all over the news. Like, hey, there's Earl Maynard. Earl Maynard's punching Kansas fans. You know how things get spread around like hot butter on toast. But I have to say, I think TCU wins this game. Like you mentioned, Mike, I think they looked great against Oklahoma. I haven't watched much of TCU because Big 12 football usually don't excite me, if I'm just being straight up fair and honest. But TCU gets this thing done on the road here at Kansas. I hope I don't have to come back here to Kansas anytime soon. And I probably won't, knowing the history of this football program. It probably won't be another game of the week. So let's maybe have a game somewhere cooler next week. But, yeah, that's my pick. I'm going with TCU. Hook 'em Frogs.
It's not Hook 'em Frogs, Earl. It's Hook 'em Horns, and that's for Texas, not Texas Christian University. My gosh. Anyways, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.